يضيق خلقك. الحمد لله ما حد بياخذ منك رزقك. هدي وارتاح ثابر واطمح من حقك. بس بلاش العين، لا 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 ما تسوى الدنيا تضيق خلقك. الحمد لله ما حد بياخذ منك رزقك. هدي وارتاح ثابر واطمح من حقك. بس بلاش العين.
So Imam al-Bukhari, as is found in your notes and many others, they said that the urine of the dog, the feces of the dog, you don't have to wash 7 times. If 1 time does the job, alhamdulillah. 2 times, 2 times. If you need to do it 3 times, sometimes maybe some najasa, you need to wash it 19 times because it's not coming out. You do until it's removed. But if it was removed by 3, you don't have to go to 7 if it's the urine or the feces. But the saliva, that's what is mentioned with regards to the 7, insha'Allah. Jayid. And so the rest of the dog, it is pure. Fadal ukhti. Wa alaikum salam ukhti. You can go and make salah. No problem. Why can you do that, ukhti? Why? Because there's no najasa on me. There's no najasa on me. Are you with me? Allah says in the Quran, إِنَّمَا الْمُشْرِكُونَ نَجَسٌ. The mushrik is najis. The non-Muslim is najis. Right? Okay, but maybe it's a separate discussion. Nonetheless, I shook the hand of a non-Muslim. Do I need to go and wash my hand or something of the sort? No, there's no najasa on me. Same with the dog. The dog's tail brushed up against me. I held the paws of the dog. I put my hand under its neck or something. As long as there's no saliva on me, there's no feces of the dog on me, there's no urine of the dog, all is fine. Walhamdulillah. Jayid. Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Sahaba, they had sheepdog, they had security dogs, they had Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam's masjid. At times dogs would come into the masjid. At times dogs used to come into the masjid. Jayid. Hayyakumullah. Jayyid.
What if the dog is wet or you are wet?
Jayyid. So now what if the dog is wet and then some wetness of the dog comes onto me, then wash that wetness out. Jayyid. Wash that wetness out. As long as there's no wetness on you, all is fine. Jayyid. In fact, Ajib, you had some people in Malaysia last year or the year before. Generally, we Muslims, you know, we have a phobia for dogs. Many of us have a phobia for dogs. Jayid. Dog, bring me a cat, it's fine. Right? Dog mushkila, right? And so some people, some criminal people, some crazy people, they wanted to like impose upon the people in Malaysia that no, you must be friends with dogs and this and that, etc. And so they started a movement of, a movement of making people have pet dogs in Malaysia, Muslim country. So these people who are very liberal, etc., they were pushing, no, you must have a dog, have a dog. Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam says that the angels don't come into the house where there's a dog. Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam talked about the saliva of the dog. There's even a hadith that if you are performing salah and the dog crosses in front of you, then your salah is broken, etc. Are you with us? So there's specific rules, etc., with regards to the matter of the dog. Wallahu ta'ala a'lam. They say that what's man's best friend? A dog. What's a woman's best friend? Ask the woman. What's a woman's best friend? Diamonds. So one scholar, he said, each one to their own aspiration. They like diamonds, mashallah. You like a dog. Each one whatever they like, whatever suits you. Hayyakumullah. Yalla ya mashayikh. Fadal ukhti. As a pet, no. As a guard dog, as a guide dog, as protection, no problem. Prophet ﷺ says that the person who has a dog, every day from his good deeds, there decreases a qirat of good deeds. A qirat of good deeds is like a mountain range of good deeds are wiped away from your good deeds. Why? One could argue that, we don't really know the reason. And one could also counter argue and say the reason is because you are putting yourself in the line of being messed with a lot of najasa. You have the dog there, whether you like it or not, it's going to lick this, it's going to go here, it's going to pee there, eat that, all of that. I mean, if you go into somebody's house who has a dog, Allah musta'an, Jayid, mushkila, Jayid, what a smell. You're looking for a new house or something and once somebody had a dog living in the house, what a stench. Obviously, they don't feed, they're used to it. جيد الله المستعان. تفضل دكتور. But if there's a valid reason, yes, no problem. Guard dog, guide dog, security dog, search dog, police dog. تفضل. No, never had a dog. تفضل. He liked cats. تفضل.
Issue of dogs. How do you reconcile the idea of dogs?
Mine or yours?
Not. No, it's yours.
Oh.
How do you reconcile the idea of dogs not being we're not advised to have dogs, like the angels, etc. But also on the other side, the issue of security as well.
So where you have a valid reason, then that doesn't apply. So I have a dog for security for a valid reason. That hadith where my rewards will go away doesn't apply because I got a valid reason to have that dog. جيد؟ الضرورات تبيح المحظورات. يلا يلا. So much about dogs. Huh? Angels. What about the angel? If you have, for example, a valid reason to have a dog, then the angels will still come, inshallah. As long as you have, for example, the one who consumes alcohol or the one who consumes swine, etc., that punishment, your life is at stake and you ate it, those ahadith don't apply upon you because you had a valid reason to do that. Are you with us? Khair. Also, subhanallah, in France, I think they have like, I remember, coming across this statistic or something, that obviously the birth rate is very low, and the number of registered pets are like in the millions. So much more than, the kids and offspring and all of that, Jade. I mean, and the money goes to the dog many a times. The money, literally the money is gone to the dogs. Jade. When I die, all my money will go to this dog. Jade. Allah Mustaan. There was a Sheikh Saleh Al-Munajjid. Once he was on TV, and he was asked a question, what's the ruling with regards to a rat and a mouse? So he said, these are rodents. These are rodents. You can put your trap and you can kill them. You got a rat in your house, not your pet. All right? You kill the rodent. It's what's this? It's a pest. You call the pest control. So he was on TV and they asked him about this matter here, right? They asked him, he joked. He asked him, what's the ruling with regards to mouse and rats and Mickey Mouse, etc.? He said, according to our Sharia, نَقْتُلْهُ فِي الْحِلِّ وَالْحَرَمِ. According to our Sharia, rats and mice, etc., whether you are in the haram boundary, where generally you can't hunt, etc., but even if you're in the haram boundary, with regards to these rodents, you can kill them. So in the haram, outside the haram. And they asked him about Mickey Mouse, he made a joke. But then I'm sure you've seen these videos. There's a think tank, they are called MEMRI, MEMRI. They have people 24 hours of the day watching all of the Muslim satellite stations. Any slip, any mistake, any joke like this, they take that video, they translate it and they put it out. Reporters have said, I don't know who these people are, but every now and then I get an email in my inbox. Small newspapers, I get an email, have you seen this video? Muslim scholar says kill Mickey Mouse. So that reporter is looking for an article to put in his local paper or his daily news. So it's already here and they put it there. Look at how smart they are. Look how smart they are. Allah musta'an, right? Mashkila. Yalla, we done with the dog, ya Mashaykh? Jayid, yalla, bismillah. Oh, Allah save us. We're going to the dog now, Sheikh. Dog is finished now. Huh? Yalla, what's your question?
With regards to the saliva of the dog, right? What if the saliva comes in contact with the skin, which is not madfou with water?
It's not what?
It can, maybe on the wound.
MashaAllah, the brother says, what if I have a wound on my hand and some dog saliva fell on the wound and so now I can't wash it? Then you'll have to chop your hand off. Don't record that and put that on memory, Sheikh. I'm joking. Right? You do what you can do. Listen, repeat after me. You do what you can do, and you leave what you can't. That is a qa'idah, that is a principle. I need to make wudu, I got a bandage on this hand. I can't make wudu, I wipe over there. I got a bandage on my foot, I can't wash there, I wipe over that. I can't stand and perform salah, I sit and make. You do what you can do, and you leave what you can't. Jayid? Yalla ya Mashaykh. So obviously we got this here, Allah save us. Right? Obviously when we were young, write it down, Sheikh. When we were young, if the pig came up on the newspaper or on the TV, we didn't even look at it. All right? Our parents, etc. I don't know if that's the case with many of you. Our parents, you don't look away. You're watching TV, the pig, don't look there. Right? What's it called? Kabutar. What's a kabutar? Pig. Huh? Gulube?
Yes.
And what's a kabutar? What's that? I don't know. Anyway, khair. All right, so what would you call a pig in Gujarati or in Urdu? Anyone? What's it called? Huh? Kabutar. I'm right. I'm right. Kabutar. No.
What language?
Suwar. Yeah, no. Anyway, Jayed. Hayyakumullah ya mashayikh. Point is, obviously the Sharia doesn't ask us to do that. In fact, the khinzir is in the Quran. If you read it, you get reward. When you say the word khinzir in the Quran, you get reward. It's in the Quran. Jayed? Lahma khinzir, you get reward, mashallah. Khinzir, you got like 50 rewards. But it did have a psychological effect and it was good. What? That then many of the Muslims who their parents don't even look, they don't even say the word, you don't even say the word pig. Then they were brought up that they were far away from any consumption of swine. They would never ever have bacon or anything like that. I can't even say it, I can't even look at it. If only the parents did the same with regards to maybe alcohol and maybe with regards to other things. There's a beer advert, don't look. Maybe then we would have been further away from alcohol. Some people consume. Maybe if they went through the tarbiyah, not from a hadith or Quran perspective, but as tarbiyah, that would have been a good thing. Anyway, the matter of the swine. Impurities of the swine. So for example, we find the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ that, Ya Rasulullah, قل لا, or rather the verse of the Quran, قل لا أجد فيما أوحي إلي محرما على طاعم يطعمه إلا أن يكون ميتة أو دما مسفوحا أو لحم خنزير فإنه رجس. That it is ritz, it is filthy. Jayed. Also the hadith on the board, Ya Rasulullah, we are coming from a place with the Ahl al-Kitab and they have pork and they drink alcohol. What should we do when we get and we use their plates? What should we do with their plates? Prophet ﷺ said, you wash it and then you eat from it. Why do I need to wash it? Because remove the najasa. If there was no najasa there, then I wouldn't have had to wash it. Are you with us? Yes. So those two evidences prove that the swine, it is najis. Right? It is najis. Also, look at the usages of the swine, subhanallah. I mean, almost everywhere you find traces of the swine. Why? Anyone knows why? Anyone knows why? Because it's cheap, exactly. Because there's so much of swine being slaughtered, and so they want to use every piece of the swine. They want to use the teeth, they want to use the hair, they want to use every part of it. And so that's why you have that industry. Dog food, whipped cream, cream cheese, energy bars, face mask. Allah musta'an, mushkila. Cigarettes, everything, almost everywhere. Almost everywhere. Allah musta'an, look at this, mashallah. Halal chalk box. What? Pork chops. Halal pork chops, mashallah. Allah musta'an. It's not only overseas, ya mashayikh. Bulk pork bright chops. Who is this? This is, where is it? Where does it say? Yeah, there's it here. Halal. Halal, right. Allah musta'an. Obviously, they say it was a labeling error, etc., etc. And how funny it is. It's always, when it comes to the pork, that's where the labeling errors occur. Funnily enough, huh? Allah musta'an.
لا 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 ما تسوى الدنيا تضيق خلقك الحمد لله تافر وضح من حقك بس
Then the next matter, inshallah, human urine and excrement. Are we sorted with the dog? Are we sorted with the swine? Yes. Alhamdulillah. Next one, human urine and excrement of adult human beings is najis by consensus. Wadi, what is wadi? Wadi, so one is urine or bowl in Arabic. Then we have something called wadi, whitish cloudy discharge released occasionally before or after urinating. What's the ruling with regards to this? This also follows the ruling of urine. This is like a whitish discharge, sometimes before or sometimes after urinating. This follows the ruling of urine and it is najis. The next one. Note, for the urine of a male breastfeeding infant, small kid, breastfeeding, not eating solids. Water can be sprinkled over the urine completely due to the hadith, بول الغلام ينضح وبول الجارية يغسل. What's this here? Think about it. During the time of the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, it's mostly the small male kids that probably they took to the masjid, and the man, he's carrying his small little boy there, carrying everywhere. And so the chances of that small boy messing places, they didn't have Huggies and Pampers, etc. So the chances of that kid messing places is high. And so the Sharia gave some sort of concession in cleaning. Not that that urine is not najis, it's najis. But how to clean it? You don't need so much of water. You just need the amount of water to sprinkle over that urine. Are you with us? For us, sometimes this mas'ala is a no mas'ala. Because alhamdulillah, we have enough water. Water was scarce for them. So they didn't need to use so much of water to clean the urine of the baby boy, but they needed to just use that much and sprinkle over it, and it suffices. Walhamdulillah. Are you with us? Human urine feces, completely najis, proof. The man who urinated in the masjid of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam ordered that they throw the water over it. Khalas. Listen carefully. We are talking about what is najis. Abdul Malik, later we're going to talk about how to clean it. If there is najis, how do I clean it? We'll talk about that. Also, we'll talk about what if it's a very little bit of najasa? Is that like maaf? Is that like forgiven? Somebody went to the toilet, urinated, and there was half a drop of urine that fell on his clothes. And he saw it, and he ignored it, which he shouldn't do. He shouldn't do. But he ignored it. Pulled his trousers up, made wudu, and made salah. Question. The half a drop of urine, is that a lot of najasa, or is that a little bit of najasa? Is that a lot of najasa, or is that a little bit of najasa? Little bit. We will see that the Sharia overlooks small amounts of najasa. We're not talking about whether he's sinful or not. Brother, you were supposed to wash it off. Why didn't you wash it? You might be punished in the grave. Why didn't you wash it? But his wudu and his salah is valid. Why? Because it's small amounts of najasa. Why? Because Islam is not for only you people living in Johannesburg. It's for the Bedouin, it's for the shepherd, it's for everybody at all times. And to ask everybody to be spick and span and not have a single bit of najasa on their bodies at all is a bit difficult. Did you get that? From the ease of the Sharia. Did you get that? That's coming up later. Now we're just talking about what's najis. Later we'll talk about how to clean it. Then we'll also talk about maybe small amounts of forgiven. What is a small amount? Monetebe's small amount is like 2 liters. My small amount is like 1 centimeter. Are you with me? So what's the standard? What do we use for that? Are you with us, ya akhawat? Excellent. Jamil. Animal urine and excrement. Okay, now we talk human, finished. Animal urine. Bottom line, the urine and the excrement of haram animals is najis. What's a haram animal? Pig. So its urine is najis. What else? Dog, its urine is najis. What else? Huh? Donkey, its urine is najis. What else? Huh? Carnivore. Well, what carnivore? Lion. Lion, its urine is najis. So the opposite, halal animals, their droppings, I'm not saying are halal, their droppings are pure. Not everything pure is halal to eat. Remember? So for example, the Prophet ﷺ was asked, can we make salah where the sheep, you know, the sheep pen, where all the sheep are kept? Can we make salah there? And obviously in the sheep pen, I mean the sheep going to mess everywhere. So there's going to be some filth. Prophet ﷺ said, yes, you can pray in the sheep pen. Try it. And so the scholars state, Prophet ﷺ also, he made tawaf. He made tawaf on the camel. He made tawaf on the animal. Try it. He made tawaf on his camel. And so the droppings of the camel also, because, well, technically the camel is not a, the camel obviously is a halal animal. You slaughter for udhiyah. So the camel's droppings, etc. are also pure. Halal animals, droppings are pure. Haram animals, droppings are impure. Either way, you and I, we will wash all. Yes or no? Because if grease comes here and beans comes here, we wash all of that. So what do you think about all of this? Are you with us? Example. So your clothes are on the line, and there was a pigeon which dropped something on your clothes. Technically, you didn't know. and you made salah, or you knew and you made salah, because it's from a pigeon and a pigeon is halal to consume, then the droppings of that animal are pure and your salah is valid. Are you with us? Are you with us? Let's see. Animal urine and excrement. Urine and excrement of haram animals are impure, whereas of halal animals they are pure due to the hadith. أن رجلا سأل النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم with regards to أصلي في مرابض الغنم. Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم said yes. Also, Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم, he mentioned with regards to a cat. So they asked, what's the story with regards to the tahara of the cat? Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that the cat is something that makes tawaf around you. The cat, is it halal or haram? Can you eat a cat? Haram. Haram. Cats are haram, right? But the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that this cat is something that makes tawaf around you. Tawafin. Tawafin means it's always around you. It jumps on your bed, it jumps here, it jumps there, it jumps this place, that place. So what that means is, because it was a cat, by default, its droppings would have been najis, but because it is something that we can't avoid and it's always around us, because of that reason, it will be pure. There was a bit of a long evidence. If you got it, you got it. If you didn't, no problem, inshallah. Bottom line, halal animals' droppings are pure. Haram animal droppings are impure. Jayyid. Moving on. A man asked the Prophet ﷺ about praying in the sheep pen, etc. We spoke about that. Also, some people came, the hadith of the Uraniyin. Prophet ﷺ, we have some ailment in our stomach, we have some issue, some problem. Prophet ﷺ told them to go and drink camel's urine. Could you do and what? Do what? Go and drink camel's urine. Hadith in Bukhari. Jayyid. And so they went and they drank that camel's urine and they were cured. There's many videos on YouTube where you find people, some in the desert, etc. I had this ailment, and for maybe 3 weeks I was drinking camel's urine, maybe once a day or something. And alhamdulillah, I'm cured of this matter now. Okay? Now the Prophet ﷺ would only allow that if the camel's urine is pure. Are you with me? He would only allow the man to drink the camel's urine because it's pure. If it was najis, he wouldn't allow him to drink it. Did you get that? Did you get that? Excellent, right? Also, Prophet ﷺ making tawaf around the Kaaba with his camel. So the camel, doesn't go to the toilet. Camel will drop its things everywhere. And so that means whatever the camel drops, it is pure. Only that's why he made tawaf with the camel. Did you get that? That's another evidence. Also, the basic rule is that everything is pure until proven otherwise. If you, Sheikh Muhammad Hassan, say that the droppings of the camel, the droppings of the cow, the droppings of the goat, they are najis, you must bring the proof to show it's najis, not me. You must prove that it's najis. The basic rule, everything is pure until proven otherwise. Are you with us? So there's like about 6-7 proofs we listed there. Alhamdulillah. Does it mean now, the age that we are living in, if the pigeon, some droppings fall on your clothes, you can know it's pure, it's fine. We're obviously going to go and wash it, yes or no? But we're washing it because it's dirty, because we don't want to seal with, because it's stinking, it's smelling. Are you with us? But not because it's najis. Jayyid. Blood. The proof that blood is impure is the verse in the Noble Quran. Jayyid. Blood. قل لا أجد فيما أوحي إلي محرما على طاعم يطعمه إلا أن يكون ميتة أو دم. Dam is blood. Somebody goes for Hajj. Say, brother, you need to make a dam. What is this dam? Dam means blood. What dam means is you need to slaughter an animal. You need to sacrifice because you made some error, some problem, etc. Jahid? Brother say, I did so many dam during Hajj. I came back full of blood. Jahid? We say, you were dumb. You didn't need to do so much like that. Anyway. Because some people are finicky. Anything during Hajj. Oh, I did this, one dam. That one dam. This one dam. Everything dam. You don't need to like that. So blood, yes, blood is something which is najis. Why? Look at that verse. O damam masfuhan, O lahma khinzir, fa innahu ritz. For verily it is ritz. The same verse we used with regards to the swine. The swine and the blood, they are ritz. What does ritz mean? Ritz means impure, filthy, etc. So here, blood is impure. And so you get cut, etc. This blood is impure. You are slaughtering an animal, the blood flows out, etc. That blood is najis. You don't go and make salah with that blood on you. Except little bit of blood, because we're going to discuss later on, small amounts of najasa are overlooked. Are you with that? Even though it's najis, but small amounts are overlooked. Think about it. Abdul Malik, 5 rands. So somebody goes to the toilet, Abdul Malik. He didn't use water. He went number 2. He used toilet paper, or he used rocks, toilet paper or rocks. Do you agree that no matter what, there's going to be some amounts of najasa that will remain around the rear exit, whether he likes it or not? Do you agree on that? Huh? Only water will remain, or only water will remove. All right. Anyway, now you took us from the dog. Now you brought us here, Sheikh. Mushkila, Sheikh. Are you with us, Sheikh? Now, the Sahaba, they went to the toilet and they used the stones. And you are told me now that there's going to be some filth that will remain there. Yes or no? Yes. So that means the Sahaba are praying and they got small amounts of najasa at the rear exit. Are you with us? Yes. So how come their salah is valid? Because it's small amounts. Did you get that? Because it's small amounts of najasa. And what is the man to do? Do you want him to continue using toilet paper? He might bleed. If he continues, he might start bleeding. Are you with me? Understand the principle. That hadith there is a proof that small amounts of najasa are overlooked, they are made maaf. And so, for example, you had a pimple, there's some blood there, some blood fell onto your clothes here or something like that. You had a cut and a little bit blood on your clothes or something. It's overlooked and your salah is valid, but you should try, obviously, to remove it, and that is best. What is little? Coming up later. Jameel. So we covered blood. Pre-seminal fluid. Pre-seminal fluid. So Sumayya and Ahmed, they are together, etc. And he is aroused, she is aroused. We are not talking about semen. We are talking about pre-seminal fluid. Pre-seminal fluid. Right? The vast majority of the scholars consider it to be impure. Until some scholars even said there is ijma, consensus, that there's no difference of opinion, that pre-seminal fluid or madhi, in Arabic it's called madhi with a dha, madhi. This here it is najis. It's like urine, it is najis. Jayed. And the majority of the scholars are of the opinion that the private parts should be washed and areas soiled should be cleaned due to the hadith, tawadda waghsil dhakarak.
لا 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 ما تسوى الدنيا تضيق خلقك الحمد لله تافل وضح من حقك بس
Ali radiallahu ta'ala an, he was somebody who had a high level of desire. And so he had this problem, many a times a day, he has this release of pre-seminal fluid. So he doesn't know what's the story with this. Is this like urine and so I need to wash it off? Is this like semen? Because I only had the pre-seminal fluid because I was aroused. And semen comes out because you were aroused. And so if semen needs me to take a ghusl, then maybe the pre-seminal fluid also requires a ghusl. Are you with us? So Ali was taking a ghusl morning, evening, night. So many times he's taking a ghusl. Very, very difficult. So he went and sent one companion, go and ask the Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam about this mas'ala. Why didn't he go and ask? He was shy. Why? Because the mufti is his father-in-law. The Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam is his father-in-law. So the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam might say, what's wrong? You got my daughter, father, what is going on here? Alright? Anyway, so Miqdad went and then the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam gave the answer, tawadda. You only need to take a wudu. So if you had wudu, and there was the release of pre-seminal fluid, you need to take a wudu. You don't need to take a ghusl. It's like urine, you need to take a wudu. Excellent. Waghsil dhakarak, and wash your private. Why wash your private? Because it's najis. Because it's filthy. So that's why you need to wash. If you didn't need to wash, then it's not najis. But you need to wash, and that shows that it is najis. Are you with us? And then what do you mean by washing? Jayed? Abdul Malik. 5 rand. Another 5 rand. So for example, somebody goes to the toilet, he urinated, or there was release of pre-seminal fluid. Does he have to wash? The exit point of where the filth came out? One option, right? Which we can say like, just the exit point where the filth came out, you wash that place. Or you wash the entire head. Or you wash the entire entire organ. Are you with us? When the Prophet ﷺ says, وَغْسِلْ ذَكَرَكَ, wash your private. You have three interpretations. Some said, just where the filth came out, that's all you need to wash. Others said, no, you wash the head. Others said, you wash the entire. Ala kulli hal. As long as you wash where the filth came out, that suffices. You have a narration that with pre-seminal fluid, you should wash the entire private and even the testicles. There's a narration, but that narration has weakness in it. It mentions you even wash your testicles also, right? But that narration has some weakness in it. Summary of this matter is that pre-seminal fluid is najis. Madhi, it is najis. And wherever it falls on your underwear or whatever, you need to wash it off, insha'Allah. Are you with us? Khair. Also, you find many of the scholars saying that especially with pre-seminal fluid, if for example it falls onto your underwear, it's very difficult to like remove. It's very difficult, sticky, it's very difficult to remove. And so, as long as you threw water on it, even though it was not completely removed, but as long as where it is, you covered that area with water, that suffices. Did you get that? Jayyid. Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, there's a hadith of Sahal ibn Hunayf. يكفيك أن تأخذ كفا من ماء فتنضح بها من ثوبك حيث ترى أنه أصابه. It suffices, you took some water with your hand and you sprinkled it over where that pre-seminal fluid was, even though the pre-seminal fluid was not completely removed. Did you get that? Excellent. Well, alhamdulillah. Why? Because it's difficult at times to remove that, and also it's a small amount, and so it would also be overlooked in the first place. Hayakumullah. Now we come to the matter of semen, ya mashayikh. So our brother from Zimbabwe, what did he say? Zuze, what did you say? Semen. You made from najis or not? He said it's najis. Jayyid. Let's see. The first safia. You people say that semen is najis. You're off these now. Why do you say semen is najis? Think, use your akal. Why do you people say that semen is najis? You need to wash it. And as for ghusl, we all know you need to take a ghusl. Why do you say it's najis? Huh? Fadal.
Because from the place where it's coming from, the field also, that is urine comes from.
Excellent. Urine comes out from there. In fact, everything that comes out from there is najis. We spoke about wadi, we spoke about madhi, we spoke about urine. So whatever comes out from there, qiyas, if everything is coming out from there, then it must also follow the same rule and it must also be najis. Yes or no? Saf at the back, why do you say that semen is not najis? Why do you say it's not najis? Fadal. Because the default rule is that everything is pure until proven otherwise, and the onus of proof is upon you people, you must prove it. And they say, well, they make qiyas and they proved it. Anyone else? So for example, Aisha radiallahu ta'ala anha, on the garment of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, there was some dry semen. And Aisha scraped it off, and then the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam prayed in that garment. Whose proof is that? Is that the proof for those who say it's najis, or is that proof for those who say it's pure? Those who say it's pure. If it was pure, then why she scratched it out? Are you with me? If it's pure, why she scratched it out? Leave it there. Huh? Like any other dirt, that's why we removed it. Okay? Then why do you say she scratched it out? That's a proof that it's pure. Why? Because? Because didn't wash it with water. Add to that. Because if you have dry semen on your garment and you scratch it out, whether you like it or not, there's going to be traces left behind. And then they didn't wash that out. So that means he's performing salah with the traces of the semen, which proves that the semen is not najis. And he removed it, or they scraped it out because it was something I don't want anybody to see. I mean, I got semen on my clothes. Are you with us? Also, those who said it's not najis, they said we are all created from it. We created from it. Allah said, وَلَقَدْ كَرَّمْنَا بَنِي Adam. We have elevated the children of Adam. I mean, if you say that we are made from something najis, then that means we are not elevated. That means we are lowered. Are you with me? I was made from something pure. I don't know about you. Are you with us, Shaykh? Jayed, excellent. So let's see. Huh? One second. So for example, those who say it's pure, They say it's the default ruling, everything is pure until proven otherwise. They say it's the origin of man, the asl of man. They say that it was scraped, and if it was scraped, some traces will be left behind, so that proves it's pure. As for those who say it's impure, they say that there were some narrations that it was washed off the garment. How do we answer that? We say that doesn't mean if I wash something that it means it's pure, that it means it's najis. I'm going to wash my clothes today. What's your name, Sheikh? Jafar. Your clothes here, you're going to have it washed tonight. Does it mean it's najis? No. There's egg going to fall here and you're going to wash it. Does it mean eggs are najis? Not everything that we wash means that it's najis. We can just wash it because we don't want anyone to see. Yalla. It exits the private parts like urine. They say, well, everything coming out from there would be najis. And so they said, yeah, this is a good one. You didn't say this. They said that urine comes out, you need to take a wudu. Semen comes out, you need to take a ghusl. So it's more najis than even urine. Did you get that? Huh? They said that semen comes out, you need to take a ghusl. So it's more najis than even urine. Ala kulli hal, you can see that both sides of the scale there, the scholars have evidences, etc., etc. Majority of the ulama, most of the ulama say that it's pure. Most of the ulama state that it is pure. The stronger opinion and the opinion of most of the ulama is that it is pure, and this is the opinion of majority of the scholars. Abdullah ibn Abbas, he said that semen is just like your mucus. It's just like the phlegm from your mouth. It's something which came out from your body, and it is pure. Any questions? Fadal. So sorry, what? So there was intercourse, but there was no ejaculation. What's your question?
So is there supposed to be janaba?
So what your question has nothing to do with what we are discussing right now. Your question is about whether the person needs to take a bath or not. Yes or no? Yes. That will come in when we talk about bathing. Right now we're not talking about that. Right now we're only talking about whether semen is najis or not. So that person who had intercourse, but there was no ejaculation, there's no semen. Are you with us? Yes. So there's no question with regards to that person. Yalla. When we come to the janaba part, then we'll talk about Sumayya and Ilyas got married, and then on the wedding night, they were alone with one another, and then when everything was, they were just getting busy, etc. He was aroused, she was aroused, then there was a knock on the door. Who's there now? Wedding night, don't come video. Open the door. His mother, she came with a pot of biryani. She said, subhanallah, this is what a Mubarak night. And what's this? I wanted my new daughter-in-law, I wanted to bring some for you. And I also brought his album. I want to show you his baby pictures. And now they already had intercourse, but before ejaculation, the knock. So he pulled out and he went. So now Fajr time, they're scratching their head now. Do we need to take ghusl or not? It's winter. Do we need to take ghusl or not? Are you with us? There was no ejaculation, like our Zimbabwean brother or Nigerian brother. There was no ejaculation, but there was intercourse. There was full intercourse. The answer, Sheikh, if there was disappearance of the head of the male private organ into the female private organ, ghusl is due upon both of them, whether there was ejaculation or no ejaculation. Did you get that? 100%. Hanafi, Shafi, Maliki, Hanbali, Shia, Wahhabi, Salafi, everybody. Are you with that? If there was consummation, if there was intercourse, even though there was no ejaculation, ghusl is due upon both of them. Come on, we move on. Time is up now, Mashaykh. Vomit. There is a strong difference of opinion with regard to whether vomit is tahir or it's najis. And the debate is centered around whether to regard vomit as excrement or not. Listen carefully. So the baby had some milk and the baby vomited. And what was vomited, you see with small kids, you can just see it's all milk. It just went in and it came out. Are you with me? There's no change. There's no taghayyur. There's no change which occurred. If we had to tell that mother, not that this is the evidence, not that this is a dalil, but if we had to tell the mother, now every time that happens, you must wash there and you must remove that clothes, and life would be very difficult, yes or no? And yes, the Sharia doesn't want to put us into difficulty. And also, we don't have any clear evidence that vomit is najis. And so the Malikis got a nice opinion. They say that if the vomit is similar to, Allah save us, but if the vomit is similar to how it went in, then it's not najis. Meaning, the milk went in and very soon the milk came out. It's vomit, but there's not much change in it. There's no smell, there's not much change. Are you with us? As opposed to somebody had biryani, Allah save us, had biryani didada, after 3 hours he vomited, you know, it's all, are you with us? Yeah. Huh? Now that day, we might say it's najis. Why? Listen carefully. They made qiyas. They made qiyas analogy. They said if the food goes here, and the food comes out, so the food has changed. And now that change has made it najis. So if the food goes in, and it comes out from the same entry point, as long as it changed, then it's similar to the excrement. Did you understand the qiyas? Is it similar to feces or not? If there's a lot of change, then it's similar to feces. It just came out from the wrong exit point. Are you with us? But if it's similar to how it went in, then it's not najis. This mas'ala, in reality, only helps us, you know, with kids. When you vomit, you go to the sink, alhamdulillah. But with kids, it is an important mas'ala because the kid vomiting all the time, etc., etc. Yalla, next one. Alcohol. Jayed? Alcohol. Allah mentions in the noble Quran, قُلْ لَا أَجِدُ فِي مَا أُوحِيَ إِلَيَّ مُحَرَّمًا عَلَى طَاعِمٍ يَطْعَمُهُ إِلَّا أَن يَكُونَ مَيْتَةً, so carrion, أو دَمًا مَسْفُوحًا, flowing blood, أو لَحْمَ خِنْزِير, the flesh of the swine, فَإِنَّهُ رِتْس, then they are what? Rits is understood as it is filthy najis. أو فِسْقًا أُهِلَّ لِغَيْرِ اللَّهِ بِهِ فَمَنِ اضْطُرَّ غَيْرَ بَاغٍ وَلَا عَادٍ فَإِنَّ اللَّهَ غَفُورٌ رَحِيمٌ. جيد؟
لا 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 ما تسوى الدنيا تضيق خلقك الحمد لله تافل وضح من حقك بس
Where's it? That's not the evidence. Yeah, the verse of the Quran. يا أيها الذين آمنوا إنما الخمر والميسر والأنصاب. That's not the verse. يا أيها الذين آمنوا إنما الخمر والميسر والأنصاب والأزلام رجس من عمل الشيطان. That verse. Listen carefully. إنما الخمر, verily alcohol. والميسر, gambling. والأنصاب, are these like idol type of things, etc. that they put up. Rits. These 3 things are rits. Are you with us? Look here. Alcohol, gambling, and alcohol, gambling, here. Alcohol, gambling, and these like idol kind of thing. They are all rits. Listen to carefully. They are all rits. So majority of the ulama, the 4 madhahib, they say that alcohol is najis. Beer, it's najis. You touched beer, you need to wash your hands. Wine, it is najis. Why? So because Allah said in the Quran, alcohol, gambling, and these idols are rits. Understand the word rits? They said it means it is filthy and najis. Did you get that? This is the opinion of the 4 madhahib. Majority of the scholars. Jahid? But that opinion is not free from weakness. Why? Listen carefully. If we said alcohol, gambling, and idols are rits, that means all of them are rits, yes or no? Does anyone say, if I touch the gambling machine, I need to wash my hands because it's najis? Nobody says that. Are you with us? Does anyone say, if I touch the idol, I must go wash my hand because it's najis? Nobody says that. What we say is, it's rits, it's filthy, it's not a good thing to do, it's haram. So why do you apply the word rits only on the alcohol? Are you with us? You're not applying it on the gambling machine, you're not applying it upon the idol, but you're applying it only on the alcohol. They are all 3 mentioned, and then it says they are rits. But you, O Hanafi, Shafi'i, Maliki, Hanbali, you don't say that the gambling machine is najis. You don't say that the idol is najis. So why do you say that the alcohol is najis? Higher level students will get this. If you didn't get it, no problem, inshallah. We'll give you the final story. The final story, bi'iznillahi ta'ala, is that alcohol is haram, but it's not najis. And that is also the opinion of the Islamic medical associations around the world, etc. Because the usage of alcohol is vast. Doctor is giving you an injection, then he puts some alcohol there, etc. And all of these things. And so, we say alcohol, it is pure, but it is haram. Did you get that? It's pure, but it's haram. Some beer fell on your hands, you can still make salah. Are you with us? I mean, it's nice to wash it, but you can still make salah. Another proof. Allah says in the noble Quran, وَسَقَاهُمْ رَبُّهُمْ شَرَابًا طَهُورًا. Those who say it's najis, they said Allah said that in Jannah we will give the people a pure drink to drink. وَسَقَاهُمْ رَبُّهُمْ شَرَابًا طَهُورًا. They will have a pure drink in Jannah. So those scholars, they said, well, that means that the drink of this dunya, it's najis. Because in Jannah they will get a pure drink, and so it means in this world, the sharab, it is najis. Did you get that? Mafhum mukhalafa. They said in Jannah, the sharab is pure. Allah said the sharab in Jannah is pure. So that means the sharab in this dunya is not pure. Did you get that? Makes sense. But the counter argument is, if you say that, then that means orange juice, Coca-Cola, all of these are sharab also. Why you are specifying sharab to only alcohol? This is high level stuff, ya mashayikh. Right? If you got it, you got it. Also they say that the Prophet ﷺ ordered the Sahaba to throw out the alcohol. And so in Medina, whatever alcohol they had, they opened the bottles and they began to throw it on the roads. Alright? And said that if alcohol was najis, they wouldn't throw it on the road. They will go somewhere far and dump it somewhere. But they throw it on the road, people are going to walk on it, etc., etc. That's a proof that it's not najis, but it is pure. Either way, it's haram for us to consume. Are you with us? Pure or najis, either way, it's haram for us to consume. So for example, this is the resolution of the the International Medical Association Academy. Alcohol, therefore, is not physically impure on the basis that things are by default clean. This applies whether it is pure or diluted by water, giving preference to the view that the uncleanliness of wine and other intoxicants or alcoholic beverages is figurative rather than physical. Meaning that alcohol, gambling, the idols, they are all dirty, they are all filthy, not that they are najis. Allah says in the Quran that the mushrik is najis. Innamal mushrikuna najas. But if we don't understand it, that the mushrik is najis in his skin. We say najis in his aqidah. You can marry a Christian girl, isn't it? So you're sleeping with najasa every night? Are you with me? You're kissing her, etc. Jewish wife or something. Are you with me? What it meant is that it is najis in terms of their belief, not in terms of their body. Anyway, khair. And so you can go through all of that there, bi'iznillahi ta'ala, another time. And is with regards to alcohol. And look at Jayyid. Khair, inshallah. Khair. What's the next page there? Before that. Important rule on page 11. Important rule. Minor amounts of najasa on the body or the clothing or the area of prayer, your musalla, etc., is overlooked. It's made maf. It's mafubun an. Small amounts of najasa are overlooked. And it does not affect the validity of one's salah. Example. Brother Salman went to the toilet. He doesn't worry. Some urine fell on his clothes, he went, made wudu and made salah. Next day, same story. Every day, he doesn't worry about the alcohol. Small little bit drops, he lets it fly by. We say that this brother, he is sinful for having all of those drops of urine there. He's sinful. He might be punished in the grave, adab of the qabr. This is a sin. But then what about his zuhr salah, his asr salah, his maghrib salah? We say all those salawat are valid. How come they valid? We say because it's too little amounts of najasa. And small amounts of najasa are overlooked. Did you get that? Doctor, what's your name, Sheikh? Northwest. Khalil, repeat what we said, Sheikh. About small amounts of najasa. It's overlooked. Why it's overlooked? Why it's overlooked? Because of the mashaqqa, because of the difficulty. Allah doesn't put burden upon us. Small amounts of najasa, etc. The man, the Bedouin, this person, that man. Difficult to avoid all of that. Also, you saw Sahaba went to the toilet, and if they use stones, small amounts of najasa will remain there. Are you with us? Now, what is the definition of small amounts of najasa? What's the definition of small amounts of najasa? One man's small amount of najasa is another man's big amount of najasa. The butcher, he comes for salah, is dripping in blood. He says, no, I just had a bath, I'm going to a wedding. What small amounts of najasa? Where do we draw the line? Have you come across, like for example, some said, like a coin, or like a dirham, or a dinar, or something like that, Jayed? Or some said like this inner palm, this section here, or if you make a sign like this here. Have you come across that? One person, he heard that, and they say that little knowledge is bad, Jayed? And so he heard, what is this? Where the ulama are coming up with all of these fancy things here? A small coin and, they're pulling out from their pockets. They're pulling these things out from their pockets and thin air. You say, no brother, subhanallah. When the Sahaba, or when you brother, go to the toilet and you defecate and you only use toilet paper, at the rear exit, you said that there's definitely going to remain some small amounts of najasa there, yes or no? Huh? And so what's the sign of that small amounts of najasa? What's the size? What's the radius? Did you get it? The radius of your rear exit point. Now they're not going to explain to everybody. Now you see that they say it's the size of a coin. Are you with me? They're not going to tell you, brother, now you see the anus size and this. They just tell you the size of a coin. Where did the size of the coin come from? Because of the radius, the size at the rear, where we agree that there is najasa, but it's overlooked. Did you get that? So in reality, when the scholar says small amounts of najasa are overlooked, what amount, Sheikh? He says like a 5 rand coin, the old 5 rand coin, or the old 1 rand coin or something. Don't laugh at him. What he's talking about is real fiqh. If he knows the asl of that mas'ala, if he knows the origin of that mas'ala, where it was extracted from. Did you get that? Excellent. Everyone stand up. If you don't want to stand, then you need it more. Stand up.
لا 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 ما تسوى الدنيا تضيق خلقك الحمد لله ما حد بياخذ منك رزقك هدي وارتاح تابر واطمح من حقك بس بلاش العين لا 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 ما تسوى الدنيا تضيق خلقك الحمد لله ما حد بياخذ منك رزقك هدي وارتاح تابر واطمح من حقك بس